y'all. My name's Megan. I'm a homeschool mom of two. And welcome to my channel. I don't even need to dance today because I'm feeling real good, okay? This hair is like, something special's happening here, you know? And then I've got my Thermostone sweater on, which was a find. I'm going to tell you what. However, when I went to put it on today, it's definitely left some like fuzzes in my hair. Anyways, in today's video, I am going to update you on how our homeschool went in the month of December, kind of give you a little bit of a recap. And I know that it is early. We have like 11 days left in this month, but you guys, we're done, okay? We done. I mean, as a family, we always read. We will continue to read. We're homeschoolers. We're curious by nature. But in terms of just sitting down at the table and like, you know, doing the schoolwork, it's over, okay? We are ready to sink into the spirit of the holidays. And also, we just have to travel, y'all, okay? In case you didn't know, we are transplant Hoosiers, and we're going to have to skedaddle back to Texas for Christmas. So we've got a lot going on. And in terms of, like I said, having some official schoolwork to do, we don't. Here is how my update videos work is I'm going to, and by the way, you guys, these are probably my absolute favorite videos to make because it's really the time that I feel like I get to powwow with y'all like on a personal level. And also it makes me so grateful for what we've accomplished as a little homeschool because you don't really know until you look backwards. You know, it's kind of why I like backwards planning. I am getting lost in my thoughts here. But anyways, it just makes me grateful for what we've done for the month, and this month's video is no different. But how these work, I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of how our month went, and then I'm going to get into the specifics of what worked and what didn't. You know, give you the good news before we go with the bad. Okay, so in general, my thoughts for the month of December is so similar to what I am sure a lot of you guys have been going through. It has been busy, busy, busy. I mean, honestly, like I'm sitting down to make this video Sunday. I don't even know what day of the week it is because I have looked at the calendar and I don't even know how we have gotten to this point and that Christmas is next week. That is just, I don't know, insanity. But it's also been busy on a personal level. My husband went on a 5-day business trip to New Orleans at the beginning of the month, which if you guys ever struggled with some like serious, like I'm the home educating parent, which means I have to be at home. You guys ever struggle with that feeling? Because I love New Orleans. It's like my favorite place to visit. And I was a little bit bummed that I didn't get to go, but it was okay. I survived, right? I didn't realize that I could have so much strength as a parent. So to all of you single parents out there, like that's me tipping my hat to you because 5 days was just about my limit for what I was able to do and still hold on to some shred of sanity, dignity, right? I was, you know, 5 minutes away from just living in pajamas for the rest of my life. Anyways, in addition to that, I've just been personally dealing with a lot of maybe stress and anxiety around the holiday season. And I'm going to get into a little bit of that later, but I am loving the cozy season. Our house is feeling just small, but so warm and cozy as it's getting really, really cold outside. I get really into cooking this time of year because our summers are so beautiful in Indiana. I never want to be inside, even to have the patience to make a meal. And now that it's really, really cold, it's just the thing I need is to, you know, be cooking and sitting around the table at the end of the night. That has been truly wonderful. So yeah, let's see, December, very busy. Let's really get into the specifics of what worked for us this December. All right, so the major thing that worked for us this December and is also a really bittersweet thing for me is that Patsy finished her speech therapy. Now, if you aren't aware, my youngest daughter, who just turned 3, she has a social speech delay or expressive speech delay, and she has been in speech therapy for a little bit over 6 months now. But in our state, she ages out of those state-provided services at 6 months. We may continue on with a private provider, but as of now, we're just taking a break through the holidays. You guys, we had a speech and developmental therapist who came into our house once a week. We loved her. Shout out to you, Miss Autumn. You rocked. And you can't help but develop a personal relationship with this person who is helping your child and honestly helping your family to connect with your child. And we did that through play. We were her first stop every Monday morning. So we also had coffee together and just enjoyed being in each other's lives. I have seen so much progress from my little girl. She has just opened up so much, and verbally she just doesn't stop talking now. So I'm really proud of her and the work that she has done. Speech therapy was a tremendous, I don't know, bonus for our family, right? It just, I cannot undersell the value of speech therapy. So if that is something that you have been considering for your child, definitely look into it, because you guys, there's no like negative side effects from speech therapy, right? There's no, this isn't like at the end of a medication commercial when at the end they list all the things that are right? And I'm not anti-medication, that's not where I'm going, but there's just no negative side effects to putting your child into speech therapy. And we saw nothing but positives. And I'm so grateful for that experience. And we're still going to continue to do a lot of the things in our homeschool that Miss Autumn taught us. We will continue to work with Patsy using those exercises and play and reading regimes. Okay, so yes, PJ turned 3 this month, and we are so happy. I don't know, she has been, I don't ever use this word. I just don't know what other type of word to put in its place, but she has been such a blessing to our family. She is just the light and joy of this house. She's definitely the baby of our little family unit. And she got donuts from her speech therapist for her birthday. She got her own little birthday party. We went and painted pottery. I mean, we just had a great time, and it was really special to see my 7-year-old really get in on this moment, right, of helping to celebrate her sister. I think a lot of times kids struggle when it's their sibling's birthday, and we just didn't have any of that this year. It was just all joy. Okay, but just in terms of academics, the things that worked really well for us this month, the number one thing absolutely has to be our Christmas unit study that I picked up from Little School of Smiths. Now, I know that you guys, it's like Christmas time already, but I'm going to, of course, link this unit study down below because it was wonderful. We actually got through, oh, and this unit study was an American Girl unit study. I did a whole video on that. I will link it below. But if you're looking to purchase something for next year, I would go ahead and get it. There are 6 separate units, and we completed 3 of them, and I plan on finishing the next 3 next year. So it's definitely a purchase that's going to carry us over 2 years in a row. We had a wonderful time. We finished Josefina, Kirsten, and Addie. We're actually going to finish tomorrow, but we have absolutely loved it. The books have just been that perfect morning read for us. The crafts are top notch. I am inserting some photos of my kids' craft projects here. It was just gentle, beautiful, and really opened up a ton of conversations about maybe some not so nice things happening in each of the time period in which these characters existed. So you guys know me, I have a heart for history, and this month was chef's kiss. We were just in it to win it in terms of history. And if you do go and watch that video about what we did this month, we paused all other plans and all other sort of structured learning, and we just committed fully to looking at holiday traditions and allowing that to kind of be a cross-curricular study for us. Another huge victory for us again this year was our rereading of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. This is our third year to do that together as a family, and every year it is just so special. We love this story. We know it well enough at this point that we can laugh at it. You know, it is very silly in some parts and kind of creepy in other parts, and we have so enjoyed it. The thing we added to that sort of practice or tradition this year was this Seek and Find Classics book, A Christmas Carol. And I got this from Book Outlet, and it was just a really fun thing to hand to the kiddos to look at while we were reading the book itself. So it has scenes and images from A Christmas Carol, and then it's like a Where's Waldo, but with the characters or elements of the Christmas Carol story itself. This was a wonderful addition. Because, you know, we get into this rut with read alouds like, okay, now draw. Okay, now here's some kinetic sand. Here's your magnet tiles. And this was fun to just kind of freshen it up, liven it up, and to give them something that was really relevant to what we were doing. I think that they really, really enjoyed that. But that brings me to the absolute best thing that happened for us this month, and that is I took my 7-year-old to go see a performance of A Christmas Carol, the musical, that was happening at this really cool theater that is in our area. And we live in rural Indiana, so when I say in our area, we still had to drive quite a ways to get there, but it was totally, totally worth it. This theater is actually an old round barn that has been converted, and it was just an amazing experience. The performance was top notch. The production value was super shocking, and my 7-year-old, I was concerned, she sat through the entire thing. So we took it as an opportunity to get dressed. We went out with one of our really good homeschooling friends and her daughter. We went together, then we went to dinner, and it just ended up being, honest to goodness, one of the most magical experiences of the season. And again, because we are homeschoolers, we definitely had the flexibility to go matinee, middle of the week, not just, you know, flooded with people. And it was just a really, really special moment for me, and to see that this tradition building of the Christmas Carol is working, because my 7-year-old, she was totally excited when the new characters that she was so familiar with were coming on stage. So like, thumbs up for theater. Why haven't we been doing this? It's definitely something that I'm going to be adding into our homeschool more and more and more, is getting out and seeing those performances, because it was wonderful. Going through this, I am feeling so happy, because it is just bringing forth, it is reminding me that even though I've had some struggles this month, we have done so much, and there has been so much good for December. So I did say that we kind of put off all other academic activities except for our Christmas unit studies, and that's not exactly true, because we did continue our reading lessons with Grandma, which we do over FaceTime, and they have just been amazing, and it has been wonderful to see Winnie's progress with her reading. She had all of the elements there. It was just about the confidence and practice of bringing all of those things together, and it has been such a beautiful experience to see her come into her own in terms of reading. And with that, I do have some suggestions for you guys, and that are the Bob books, which I know that we all kind of are familiar with the Bob books, but these in particular are sight word books. So this one is kindergarten, and then this one is first grade. And what I really like about these books is that they're really reinforcing the practice of sight words, not just through flashcard work, which we do some of that, but it's actually taking the sight words and putting them into the context of a story. And so the kiddos are reading, write those sentences in that narrative, and practicing and reinforcing those sight words. I just think that's more interesting for the kids, and it's actually practicing the words in an environment in which they will see them in the future. Okay, the last thing I'm going to mention that worked for us in terms of the students, aka my kiddos, is going to be our local library activities. I am so grateful that we have such an amazing local library, which is shocking considering that we are in a very small community. So this month we participated in Pokemon Club, Minecraft Club, we had a Polar Express party, a Polar Express viewing party. I mean, all the things that you could do at the library, we were there for. And it's just been so cool because there's just a consistent group of kiddos that show up at those activities. And it's just been amazing to watch their friendships grow. And also, let me just tell you this, like, I know that one of the things we get really aggravated with as homeschoolers is when people are like, well, what about socialization? Building these relationships at the library has not only been amazing in terms of socialization from peer to peer for my kiddos, but also socialization with interacting with adults, the librarians, the librarian assistants, and other adults that are in their community that are at the library. It's been really, really cool to see. And as a matter of fact, for being such a small town, we have had so many community activities this month that's really like been heartwarming and made me feel proud to be a Hoosier. All right, the last two things that I want to share with you guys that really worked for us this month are actually things that really worked for me as the home educating adult in our house. And I think that that is so important to put focus on that. If you are a Julie Bogart fan, which I am, she definitely stresses the importance of being an awesome adult because it is the way that we are modeling positive adulthood for our children. And I think that this month, well, really this fall, I've made some huge strides towards that. And this month, I just want to celebrate that in this video and say that one of the things that I did was I actually started a book club with a friend of mine. Now, it is interesting because these are not like highbrow novels that we are reading. We very intentionally set the bar to be steamy romance novels, okay? That is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. I love a good romance novel, fast-paced, stupid, unrealistic. I don't even want to put stupid on that label because I'm pretty proud. I'm like getting confident about my choices. It is that escapism, right? We're talking about soap operas on paper form. I absolutely love them. And I've managed to find a group of women in my town who love them as well, or can be convinced to read them, and it has been phenomenal. We have actually, our next meeting is coming up this week, and I'm very excited for that because it is an opportunity to have really what starts off as super surface level discussions of the nonsense that has taken place in this book, and we're really getting to some deeper thought conversations that's been really remarkable to connect with other women, to feel seen, right? And it's just been a super fun experience. And wish me luck, y'all, because I'm supposed to pick out the book for this next month. And oh my gosh, I'm crippling under the pressure of that for sure. But speaking of feeling seen, right, as an adult and having that experience, the other thing that has worked out for me so well this month has actually been my YouTube community. And I don't just mean you guys, absolutely you guys. I love y'all. You make me feel seen. You make me feel like a more whole person, but also kind of some behind the scenes friends that I've been making. We have a secular homeschoolers YouTube group chat that I've been a part of now for several months. And it's been amazing to see that those women, and I include myself in that statement, have brought so many issues that go beyond YouTube to that chat. And what a beautiful experience it has been to see women from across the board responding and coming together for that. And I would say home educators. We just don't happen to have any men in that group yet. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't want to just be assuming, but I don't think so. And so it's just been a wonderful place to feel connection and to feel like social media is actually can be so positive. And I fully believe that. So yeah, YouTube communities, as secular homeschooling mother communities, top notch, right? And I will say that what's been cool about it is these aren't just like random Facebook groups that I'm finding this connection in, because like we all know how that can be. These are really intentional groups that I have requested to be a part of or built around me. And it's just been such a cool feeling to be surrounded by like-minded people. But I don't mean just like-minded like we've just selected to not participate with anyone who disagrees with us. I just mean like-minded as in open-hearted, open-minded individuals who don't mind pushing back against one another and know that it's like a safe space to do that. And I just appreciate y'all. So shout out to my ladies. Okay, enough gushing. Let's get down to like the bad news of what did not work for us this month. And really, the only thing that I would say did not work for us this month was our winter solstice unit study. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the unit study and everything to do with the fact that I just over planned for the month of December. And I will say that that was intentional because of my past of being a public school teacher. Those 3 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas in terms of breaks is just it is so rough and time can just drag. So intentionally, I put into place to have way more than we could ever possibly accomplish kind of planned so that we just kept at this constant pace and were distracted from kind of that counting down the clock until Christmas sort of nonsense that can happen. Now, we may actually cover some winter solstice stuff while we are traveling, and by no means am I discounting it. We are actually keeping a hold of the book that we got for it as well. This is The Return of the Light, 12 Tales from Around the World for the Winter Solstice. I'm holding on to all of this material because I do know that we will eventually pick it up, and it is totally of merit and of value. And we have been folding in maybe a little bit more winter solstice into our winter festivities. We are just we're straight up secular Christmas celebrators, if that makes sense, but we are trying to bring in those more natural elements. We did get into the woods a lot this December, which was shocking, and it was awesome to look for the mushrooms out there even in the cold and see how they change or what other mushrooms were present in cold weather. I don't know, go mycology, any other mycology fan, hashtag mycology in the house, right? I've embarrassed myself. I'm just kidding. I have no shame, obviously. Hashtag no shame, okay? Anyways, so we will probably catch up on that next year. We just planned too much on purpose. All right, here's something else that was totally unexpected that is not working for me this holiday season. And that is that in our new house, because we moved here last March, and we have like a porch on the front that's really common for this part of the country. I don't know, they call it like a 3 seasons porch or something like that. It does not have any air conditioning to it, and it does not have any heating to it. It's literally like a closed in porch. Full of windows and walls, y'all. There's no like breeze of air coming through here. My point being that was set up as our homeschool space, and I will link our homeschool tour video below where I show you guys all of that. It has changed, but for the most part, that's what it looked like. We cannot use that space, at least not consistently. If you have noticed, the background and setting of my videos has changed because it is so cold out there, okay? Also, my printer won't work out there because the room temperature is just too low. So it's really just become the storage space for us, and that's kind of a bummer because it was a place where we could go for reading or the kids could play on the carpet with things like their magnet tiles. That's where my office space was. Yeah, it's just kind of a bummer, but we've got some ideas about what we're gonna do in terms of reorganizing our house to accommodate. For now, we know that we can't use that porch. And I feel like that's really like a Texan thing, like that we moved up here and I thought, oh, that part of the house is insulated. Who cares if it doesn't have heating? I care. I care that it doesn't have heating because it is freezing cold out there on that porch. So for now, it's mainly just storage, and we'll see how long it takes until that space is warm enough for us to really functionally use it again. The last thing that I want to talk about, what has not worked for us this month. This kind of goes into what has not worked for me this month. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll link it down below. Then you might know from some of my posts that I've really been struggling with finding consistent happiness and joy in the holiday season because of the amount of emotional labor and just labor that I feel like is put upon the primary caregiver, and in most cases, the mom, if you will. And I find that this is something that has happened to me, and I was also bummed about it because I feel like I'm a fairly progressive individual in a marriage of equality. But you know what? I feel like as a society, we are just conditioned to be those people, right? It didn't even occur to me to ask my husband to help me go for Christmas gifts or to take on some of the emotional labor, right? Addressing the Christmas cards, yada, yada, yada. I got some excellent suggestions from you guys. I have had tons of conversations with my husband about how we are going to move forward to make sure that everyone is able to enjoy the magic of the season. And so one of the things that we're going to do post-holiday is we're going to kind of do a post-holiday autopsy, if you will, and really figure out what the holidays is going to look like for us in the future because of the stress and anxiety that it has really created for me. And I'm just not being able to handle that in the way that I want to. And also with that has just been like setting boundaries with people, which is such a difficult experience and doesn't usually work out the way that podcasts and self-help books and everything else tell you that it's going to, but I still have faith, right, that those things will shake out the way that they are supposed to. But listen, if you are feeling stress and anxiety this holiday season, just know I see you, I feel you, we are in the same boat. But let's not just like sit in that feeling. Let's make some progress towards changing it and just making it better and healthier, you know, for all of us, right? Did that make any sense? Who knows? Okay, you guys, that is really it for this update video. So you know what I'm gonna say, right? Is it perfect? No, baby. And it was never going to be. But is it done? For this month, it is. Woo, woo. Oh my gosh. You guys, Christmas is this week. So I'm just wishing all of you the happiest of holidays, no matter what you celebrate, or even if you don't celebrate any holidays at all. Just know that I'm thinking about you and hoping that you're having the most wonderful time of year with your families. So you know what? Until next time, bye.